Alright, the time has come to build our slide, our ramp, our feeder, whatever you want to call it. And what we're going to do is we're going to take two of these 4.5-inch boards right here behind me, and we're going to combine them together. And this is a little tricky part because they're only about 3/4 of an inch thick. So, like I was saying earlier, I got some plywood and some OSB and stuff like that behind me that I could rip down however wide I wanted and to make that chute just, easily. But I wanted to use this oak, and all we got is all the stuff that we've already cut in half. Now at one time it was like 9 or 10 inches wide, and at that time I wasn't thinking. I should have left it like that. And I don't have any boards or trees or logs ready to just to put on the mill and cut right now. So I'm going to try to use something that I've done one time. I've only used this one time, and this is a Craig pocket jig. And what it does is, you got this drill bit that comes with it, and you put it on the edge of your board and you screw in there, and it actually kind of drills it at an angle, and it kind of hides the screws, and it should keep this from splitting. And like I said, I only used this one time in the past. I built our kitchen table when we first built our house about 3 years ago. If I can think, I'll try to put a picture up in the description. But what these are good about is they're actually good at hiding the screws, so you don't have no screw heads sticking up or showing. And before I do that, I went to the store last night and picked up some Gorilla wood glue. I'll go ahead and put that on the inside joint before I start screwing all these together, and that'll kind of help it hold a little tighter. But I'm going to beef this thing up a little more. With all those scrap ends that are about this long that I had left over from all the rails that I put up for the wall, I'm going to rip some of them down with the table saw, and I'm going to use those as braces like every 2 or 4 foot. I think this thing will be fine. The way this thing works, you got to use a clamp like this, and I'll show you guys in the video, because I know a lot of people do not know about these Craig pocket hole jigs. I never knew about it until I started researching on how to make this table, but they are super handy, and it really helps if you use their screws that they make. These screws are pretty much made for these holes that you're going to be drilling with their jig. And I'm not going to get into all that, so I'm just going to get busy. And first thing I'm going to do is start gluing this, and then I'll put it together and start screwing it. Now, normally if this was going to be furniture or anything that needs to be perfectly straight with no gaps or anything like that, you'd want to run this lumber through something that would level them both out, like a table saw or something like that. That way they're completely flush, because these are going to be bowed a little bit and it's going to be in and out. But it's not a big deal because I'm just using this as a feeder. So I'm going to get busy. Alright guys, so that's what it looks like. And I scooted a little close to the edge on this one. I needed a little more of lip, and I caused it to crack, but it's not a big deal on this. But the next one I'll probably scoot it back just a hair more. That way I have a little more lip to grab and it won't crack this edge. So the two boards are now jointed together to form one again. And the real question is, did these screws come out the bottom? Because this board over here is actually a little bit thinner than this one. So I'm going to flip it over. Let's see if we have any screws showing. Because when you're building furniture and stuff, you got to be pretty precise. Do not see these screws. You can see the gap a little bit. And like I said, guys, this is no big worries for this piece of wood or this piece of lumber that I'm building. Now, if I was going to be building a piece of furniture or anything like that, you would actually want to run this through a planer a few times and get everything the same dimension, and that will help you get rid of those gaps and the different levels of wood. Okay, so I got the glue, I got the screws in there, but let's go another step and beef it up a little more. And if you guys remember earlier when I was talking about using the scrap pieces, I'm gonna rip these in half, or rip them to about 1.5 inches to 2 inches, and I'm gonna put these on the back of the board or underneath, and you know, just space them out like every 3 or 4 foot, and that'll help beef that ramp up. guys, so I got a bunch of that scrap stuff all cut down the size, but I'm gonna wait to put it on because I might actually run a 2x4 on the back of this for support. So I'm gonna carry it on over there and see if this thing's gonna work out. Alright guys, I think I figured out how I want it. So I went ahead and put this scrap piece here to kind of hold it up on this side. And I'm gonna try to get a screw in on the other side. And then I'll try to get it adjusted to how I want it. See if I can get this to stay up here. Let's see here. Okay, there's one screw. Let's see here. So what we want to do is, what we're trying to do is eliminate this gap at the bottom. So this ramp will slide the feed down all the way and it'll kind of pile up into the little trough. But we don't want no cracks because that'll all just get jammed up. So you can see how I did it on this end. It's nice and flush. And I'm gonna have some gaps here and there. Like I said, this is just rough cut lumber, but I could have put it on the table saw, I guess, made it a little straighter, but I think I can work with it. Alright guys, so I took some of the scrap pieces, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through every so often and put these right underneath here as a brace, and to get this pushed up to eliminate that gap. And I need to pre-drill these or they're going to crack. Alright guys, so I got that part put on, the ramp is on, and I think I got it beefed up just enough. I went through with some of that scrap and braced up the back. We'll see. There shouldn't ever be any weight really on here. I mean, I can push down on it pretty hard and it doesn't really move. But I do have a little bit of a gap, as you can see right here. I don't think it's big enough for the feed to really fall through, so I'm not worried about it right now. There is some stuff I can do if it is a problem, but I really don't think it's going to be a big loss. There might be a pellet or two get through there, but it ain't no big deal. Ain't nothing that old butterscotch can't clean up. Right? She heard me. She turned around and looked. So yeah, there we go. There's that. Now it's time for the true test. Bad thing is, I've only done one part. I still got to do this other half. So before I spend a lot of time doing everything I just did on this one, I'm going to go ahead and get a bucket of feed. I know I'm going to make them goats mad. They're going to want in here, but I'm not done yet. And I'm going to make sure this works before I carry on. Okay, so it worked. The only thing I might be worried about is this lip. I didn't pour it real evenly, but it slid down just fine. All that worked fine and dandy. I might actually end up raising this up. So there you go. I think it's going to work fine. Normally, I wouldn't probably put that much feed in there. I'd spread it out a little better. But I think it's going to work just fine. And like I said, if it does be a problem or it just starts falling out, I don't really see any on the ground. There might be a piece or two. But if the goats get in here and start acting all sloppy and crazy, then I'm definitely going to have to raise this lip up. So I'm going to get busy. I'm going to go ahead and try to start working on this other half. Hopefully I'll get done. And then I can end this video and show you guys. I'll let the goats in and we'll do a real test. Okay, so just got the second part done. The feed bunk is done, besides the gate and the little livestock guardian dog jump through gate. I just poured the rest of the feed from the bucket in there, as you've seen. And now the true test. The chickens have already figured it out. They know there's feed in there and they can reach up there and get it. But when you feed the goats, they don't leave any feed, so it's nothing to worry about. So we got it all done here. Now the true test, like I said, is to open the gate and see what the goats think. You ready, goats? Come on! Come on, goats! See how long it takes them to figure it out. They have no idea. Smart ones did. Look, girls. I think it's gonna work. Look at that. So it don't take long for them to eat 5 gallons of food, which is about 30 pounds. And that comes out right now, for the amount of goats we have, that's about 1.5 pounds a goat. And then once I get this end gate done, and then the real gate, this thing will be complete. But that's going to be another video. So, there you go. Thank you guys so much for following me on this journey. It has been a lot of fun milling these trees, making the lumber, and then putting it to use. on something that we've been waiting to do for a long time. It's really exciting to see it all come together, and so many of you have been giving me some ideas and stuff, so thank you so much for all the awesome comments. Keep them coming. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please check us out. Hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, like this video, and we'll see you next time. Their faces actually fit just fine in there. Oh.